Javed Abdi Foundation, JAF, which also stands for Journalism, Advocacy and Fun. Please subscribe to the channel, press the bell icon, like, comment, and share.
Yeah, definitely. Another question that we had was, Nipun, you had talked about court battles being expensive, and you've had court battles as well. So, first of all, can you tell us more about how expensive is it to file a PIL since you've been through that experience? And what are the different challenges that you faced? And can you also give us some inputs about how we can do advocacy if we are not, that financially sound? Because this is a question that I've gotten from someone anonymously. I don't know from where, but they're saying that they want to कह रहे हैं कि हमें मतलब कोर्ट आपने बोला कि एक्सपेंसिव होती है, तो आप बता सकते हैं कि कितनी एक्सपेंसिव है कोर्ट?
So I
और
think
अगर
it both relative question है. Like for example, if you can get a pro bono lawyer, and there are a lot of pro bono lawyers who are ready to serve you, that can really help. But the tricky balance is to having somebody who's a pro bono lawyer, but also a lawyer who at the same time is dedicated towards giving you time. I have been lucky to have a lawyer who's in that sense done that. But apart from that, there are a lot of other expenses also. Like for example, you have to pay an advocate on record whenever there is an appearance in the Supreme Court. Apart from that, there are a lot of filing charges, etc. So even if your entire lawyer is pro bono, you will end up spending around 50,000 while filing a case. And apart from that, there will be around there will be filing charges, etc. जो 3-4 हजार की तो होंगी during every hearing, etc. And this is without including a lawyer's fees.
डेफिनेटली आई थिंक जिसने भी ये क्वेश्चन पूछा है कि मुझे आया है, एंड इफ यू आर वाचिंग देन मुझे भी एक दो लोगों ने, जैसे हम लोग अभी वी नॉट वेंचरिंग इनटू द लीगल फील्ड एज येट राइट नाउ, फाइलिंग केसेस, फाइलिंग पीएल्स, आई एम स्टिल एक्सप्लोरिंग अदर ऑप्शंस एंड वेज ऑफ डूइंग एडवोकेसी. बट अगर आपके कोई भी इश्यूज हैं या जो आपको लेना चाहती हैं, तो एक दो आए थे. Anubha had only referred me to one person who had some issues. So if you want, we can. I think Nipun can refer, or even we are in good. Have pro bono lawyers who are willing to help out, and then you
And
guys
there are a
can
lot of
figure
pro bono
out.
lawyers who are helping, willing to work out.
Exactly.
But of course, apart from that, apart from the financial cost, there's another cost also that's involved, which I must tell all of you, that there's a big cost in terms of time also. Because India में court का वो एक joke होता है ना, court कचहरी, like for example extend होते रहता है, right? So there have been many times where I've just gone to court. I live in Gurgaon, just like Shamir. Shamir, you also live in Gurgaon, right?
Yeah.
And I go to the Delhi High Court, I go to the Supreme Court. जाने में घंटा लगता है, आने में घंटा होता है. And at least 50% of the times, if not more, minimum 50% time मैं बोल रहा हूँ, court में कुछ नहीं होएगा, because the judge will come and the judge will just give a future date. So you have to be prepared for the time and the emotional cost also. When I said courts can be expensive, people only look at the financial cost, but you have to look at the time also. For example, your entire day will get wasted. I mean, I have other work also that I have to do in the in the day. I'm sure a lot of people also have jobs, etc. So your entire day will get wasted on that particular day, maybe without any result to that also. And court cases can take a lot of time. For example, Rajiv Rastogi ji का जो एक famous case है, which led to all the rules related to disability. That case I think took around 20 years. So I think बहुत time भी लग सकता है अगर आप कोई case file करो to get justice.
So I think what you said about the struggle and the persistence. This is, I think, part of that. के जो आपने emotional cost की भी बात करी है, which is very true, because I mean there are some cases and I do go to the court, not relating to disability or stuff that I have going on, but I've seen people struggle, and क्या होता है कि वो lawyer कभी नहीं आता, कभी जो दूसरा बंदा है जिसके अगेंस्ट केस है वो lawyer नहीं आता, आपका खुद का लॉयर कभी नहीं आता, कभी जज नहीं आता, तो ये सारी चीजें होती हैं. सो दैट इज देयर. Another question, Nipun, is I think you've already talked about this, but just to reiterate, what are the core lessons? I mean, through your talk you had talked about everything, but what you have learned from being persistent.
I think what I've learned from being persistent is that if you keep uh, knocking on the door, the door will eventually open. And I think it's better if you really want to enter into a room, it's better to find 10 doors into that room and try knocking on all 10, because one of them will open. So for example, I don't know how to really give an example for this, but for example, if you are really looking at a solution to anything, you should not look at, say, only going to the right official and requesting them and charming them to get a solution. You should not look at only protest as a solution. You should not look at only a PIL as a solution. You need to do all three together. And sometimes what you also need to do is that sometimes different people need to do different things. So, for example, if there is a case on insurance for persons with disabilities, I might be the person who's filing a PIL on that. Shamir might be the person who's organizing a protest among students with disabilities at India Gate on that. There might be somebody else who's writing an article on that particular issue. एंड जब एंड में जो वो चेंज आएगा, हम सबका छोटा छोटा रोल होएगा जिसके कारण वो पर्टिकुलर चेंज आएगा. So for example, I think one needs to realize that there is no one way to solve any problem. You have to use all the ways, and you never know what works out in the end.
Yes, that's completely so true. Even you had talked about the recent advocacy initiative that we had taken up, with the online classes being accessible, that Tapas had drafted the letter. So with that, I don't see it as the end, because and or even that is just the beginning. So अभी डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ डिफेंस ने बोला है कि आई मीन सर डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ डिफेंस डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ डिसेबिलिटी अफेयर्स ने बोला है कि they have issued, मेरे दिमाग में DOD चल रहा है because I watch a lot of all these American shows, and वहाँ पर डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ डिफेंस कुछ ना कुछ करते रहते हैं. साइड ट्रैक हो रहा हूँ मैं, बट डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ डिसेबिलिटी अफेयर्स ने बोला है कि they've directed Ministry of Human Resource and Development to issue some advisory for the students with disabilities or examinations ke liye. So till I actually honestly do not trust I'm saying it openly, that the MHRD will do this till someone goes knocking behind them or going after it. So we are working on it. We are working on a draft for MHRD as well, and we'll be sending it to them. And like Nipun said कि अलग अलग fronts पे अलग अलग strategies होती हैं. तो even media and social media पे जो Nipun ने कहा is very important, that people should be aware, because अगर advisory आ भी जाती है, अगर ये जो इतने सारे केसेस हैं, जो राजीव रिटूरी जी का जो केस है, इवन निपुन के जितने भी केसेस हैं, बट knowing about them, having the awareness and then using it, because आप कहाँ तक पहुंचेंगे. मतलब अगर वो केस ऑर्डर आ गया, हर जगह निपुन मल्होत्रा या हर जगह राजीव रुटूरी जी या हर जगह एक कोई जावेद आब्दी तो होगा नहीं. इट हैज टू बी कमिंग फ्रॉम यू, and to use that information and to use those case laws that are already there. Nipun, your thoughts on that?
No, I completely agree. For example, the Supreme Court in my buses case, I'm coming back to that case because that's one of my more recent cases.
Yeah.
Clearly says that governments in the future need to ensure that all 100% of the buses are accessible. So tomorrow, if a government in another state decides to buy buses, and anybody goes to the court and immediately shows this case in their high court, because as you know, Supreme Court ka judgment hota hai, that's applicable throughout the country.
Exactly.
They can easily stop that government from buying buses. But अगर किसी को awareness ना हो और वो कोर्ट ना जाए, तो वो गवर्नमेंट फिर भी बसेस खरीद सकती है. और एक बार बसेस वो खरीद ले तो कोर्ट जाके ये नहीं बोलेगा आपको कि आप बसेस जला दो और अब एक्सेसिबल बसेस. बसेस का लाइफ होएगा 10-12 साल. I think it's 10 years. I'm not sure whether it's 10 years or 15 years, based on petrol and diesel, I guess.
Yeah.
But for that lifetime, that city will have inaccessible buses, and that's going to help destroy an entire generation's access to public transport in that sense.
Yeah.
JAF is a youth-led initiative. We deeply appreciate the support of all our interns and volunteers. Thank you. You can follow us on Facebook at Javed Abdi Foundation, and you can tweet us at Rishad Shamir.